Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber Android Arrowhead, and I am back with yet more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies, aka Ace 25, aka Chapter Ace 25, Chapter 2. Anyway, I guess it's more like Turnabout 2 or Case 2, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so, recap. We were cross-examining Filch, the guy who steals all of our stuff. Turns out, he's actually did see everything we thought he did, and then apparently he was afraid of someone stealing his soul. And also, the villain might actually be the bird monster. We know it's not, but it might be. Actually, yeah, that kind of describes everything. Anyway. Oh yeah, a prosecutor who was a prisoner broke out of the shackles, and also he might kill us now. But also he's not going to, because he got re-arrested. Wait, is it really being arrested? He never, like, left being arrested, so it was more... it doesn't matter. Anyway, for the third time that I'm saying that, let's get back to it. Just to, like, briefly touch on what was just said. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You've really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenmataro impersonator at the manor. Impersonator? I barely know her. Hey, Lovage, welcome to the stream. How you doing? What's with that guy in the whole samurai act anyway?
Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel.
No, wait, let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence.
I suppose it could wait till later.
Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Black Quill said, Apollo? Don't be late. Welcome back, Lolbits. How you doing? April 18th, 10:43 a.m. District Court number 4.
Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, maid at QB Manor. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is.
Alright, I'm intrigued. Okay. Nurari-hon, leader of the 100 demons, he really does exist. The mission involving Marioth caused my Switch to fucking crash as it died. I wasn't paying attention to the battery, so I was forced to restart my Switch, over making me lose hours of stuff. Oof. Yeah, that's pretty bad. If it makes you feel any better, I think it saves after every quest, or at least it should. So, wait, do you have autosave turned off? I guess that would be a problem. Lost almost 2 hours of progress. Ah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I guess the one... Oh yeah, thanks for the autosave. Okay, good. Yeah. I guess the one thing I would say there is just... I always just kind of habitually save after every quest, so maybe just... I realize that does nothing for your current situation, but just in general... I don't know, I think it's a good way to do things. Nurari-hyon. Wow, that is one well-polished tray.
The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible.
Eek.
Ah. Oh, what is it, my child?
Begone, Nurari-hyon! Begone, Nurari-hyon would be a pretty cool name for an album. Leader of the 100 Demons! 100 Demons would be a great name for a band.
Oh, you think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as a judicial monster of sorts.
I have every justification for being a Marioth racist. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you. That Barioth is one of those where it's like, even if someone doesn't have a mean bone in their body, they will after fighting Barioth.
The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will.
It wasn't even funny, this is a damn follower quest. I didn't even get anything for this ship besides the bullshit ass NPC. Okay, I will defend the followers here. I think the followers are usually pretty good in terms of it, like, there will be times where you're stunned and they help you out of it, or like you're low on health and they use like a dust of life. I think the followers are actually pretty good. Not that I choose to have them most of the time, but they do pretty well on their own. My charm is no effect! The demon of due process? Not sure I can see that one.
Now, you little scamp.
Yes?
I trust you know why you're here.
They didn't fix his shackles? They didn't get him new ones?
Bags.
Bags? Oh, that tricksy tanuki? Try the noodle stand, and go enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it.
Thankfully, it's the largest one I fought yet, so I'm getting close to 100% completing the monster catalog. Oh, you're crown hunting? Good fucking luck. Oh, God. That's why I never even bothered doing that until Wilds, because Wilds has this thing with the binoculars where if you scope out a monster ahead of time, it will tell you what size crown it is. Which, if you're crown hunting in Wilds, that's a godsend. Anywhere else, though, I don't think I'd have the patience for that. Everyone's a comedian.
Oh, I'm in your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azuki-Arai away.
What the fuck?
Azuki-Arai away.
Azuki-Arai? The yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off.
Azuki-Arai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
Is that so? Well, thank you.
Even he's getting pulled into this.
Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for.
They're bad enough alone, but together those two are just plain creepy. I'm a gambler for a reason, long as everything, even for the pointless things. You know what? Can't argue with that. That's a very good point.
Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene.
She specifically did. That's her whole thing, is that she said she did. What Jinxie saw.
Did I see Tenma Taro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, Shiver, I saw... Yes, now I remember. Yokai! Yokai right there in that room!
Also, the only reason I was pissed was because I lost a ton of armor skin potions. Oh! Oh, that's painful. And then you have to, like, craft them all again. And it's find the biggest version of the Gosarag before the crash. Oh, and you lost a crown? Fuck, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't really have anything to offer you there. There used to be a Discord for people who were, like, basically trade crowns, because I think you could... Right, no, I'm thinking of Wilds, never mind. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Shiver, lots of them.
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them?
I don't know, I just don't know. All I know is the room I was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Norikabe, Seto Taisho, eek, they were all there.
Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them.
Also resources to craft. Oh. Well, yeah, that sucks, man. I have nothing to offer you there. That just sucks. Oh, man. Oh, they got more progress for the Harag and Marriott if my Switch ain't shit itself. Yeah.
This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony? Ah!
Thank you, Athena. Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session ought to ease her mind. Oh, we're gonna use the emotion thing, yeah. With the court's permission, of course.
What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. Also, what are you talking about? I haven't seen that part yet.
You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill?
Objection!
That was way louder than I thought that was. Damn. Alright.
Shall we let Miss Ice proceed? Makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land.
We're in Japan. Where'd you learn them? Actually, wait, where would he learn them? Like, Ireland? Anyway. Not only that, but I spent 30 minutes making more outfits, and just so you know, I'm very particular about a character design. Oh, man. Well, at least with the design for that, you probably would be able to just find the armor again. I mean, it's not like it's... That part's not going anywhere. Play dressing room over and over again since I got rid of my outfit. Hopefully you remembered. I would hope. I'll show you. Man, we got holograms in this universe. So she's so scared it scared away all the other emotions. Oh, when I opened the door, I saw, yep, she remembers. She saw all that. Found something. It's like an out-of-control emotion. Athena, what exactly are we looking at here? Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa, you mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy. I put custom colors on all the armor pieces. Now I have to figure out the exact specifications, otherwise mine is going to explode and look slightly off. Oh. I mean, all I can really say at this point, other than I'm sorry that happened, is like... I mean, I always have my Switch plugged in when I'm playing it. Just because it's like, I'm so scared of something like that happening. That's all I can really say, but even then, it's not like always an option for everybody, so... Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? This is just inside output for lawyers. She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she experiences made her a confused mess. So... all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions? Yes, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. She hardens in response to emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. Wouldn't that be trauma in most cases? So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai. We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. Well, let's see, the badger, or the tanuki-looking thing was probably, what's-his-face? Mr. Filch, or whatever. The SpongeBob-looking guy was probably a table. Apollo, can you point out the yokai in the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by pressing probe. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, hit probe again to try and get to the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give this a try. Thing is, for some reason my charger stopped working for a little bit. That's why my Switch even died in the first place. Ah. Then as the one decided to work again, it was dead already and I did the reset. Aw. Yeah, I can't help you. That's just bad.
Got it.
Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai in a Wheel of Fire?
That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans.
It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation.
Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for Akasha.
It's the ceiling fan. It's the ceiling fan that she's doing, I'm guessing.
Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai in a wheel of fire.
I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Oh, no, it's not a ceiling fan, it's a lantern. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha?
The light fixture?
This one right here. It has a flame design and it's up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai in a wheel of fire. The Akasha you saw was just a light fixture.
Eek.
Info update. Okay, so the one on the left is probably some kind of screen door.
That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest.
Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster?
That's a Nurikabe. It's a monster that blocks your way or leads you astray.
Its name is SpongeBob. It's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen.
Eek.
And this raccoon dog isn't a Tanuki monster. It's just the statue of one. And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue.
Eek. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, her metal tray cracked. Noise level down to 50%.
You did it, Apollo. Her extreme fear is under control now.
By telling her it's all in her head.
It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai at all.
Here's a little fun fact. Did you know this wax fucking sucks against the Bizarios? Oh, because of the armor? Yeah. Really, fighting that and Gravios, where it's just like, you have to break the armor to get to the meaty parts, it's not great. They're not my favorite monsters to fight.
See? A clear-cut statement.
I don't like having to bounce off that much.
That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Jam.
No, Athena, you fucked up. You fucked up. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting that the exact opposite of their original assertion. Athena, why?
Wait, Jinxie, what about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro or any other yokai either.
No, Jinxie, you literally told us!
I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be joking!
It's because the axe is a really good part breaker. However, the axe does like 1325 damage per hit against an armored part. Yep. And then also, sometimes it'll bounce because it doesn't have the right sharpness for it. And if it bounces, you don't deal as much damage and you can't do the combos to break it faster. Yeah. Bizarios and Gravios in general, like, I don't think they're bad monsters. But I do think there was something to be said about the fact that, like, they do take some work. Order! Order in the court! I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I could do.
No! Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up noise. It's an unexpected emotion.
Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet?
Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update.
Okay, so we got happiness, anger, surprise, and scared. Huh. Let me guess. Oh, she's actually, based on the pulsing, I'm guessing she's also surprised. I entered the room.
My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. Near the fox chamber I saw Shiver. The alderman dead on the table and Papa collapsed at a chair. Nobody else was there, and that includes Tenmataro.
I think this was the source of her problem. Seems like an unnatural reaction.
Really? Because I don't see it that way.
So it isn't unexpected given her testimony?
Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can hear me.
Yes, there is someone at home, and that someone is going to try that again. Maybe? Okay, no. God damn it. But see, that one's the one that's pulsing the loudest. Hey, Lily-san, welcome to the stream. The Conqueror, my current switch axe has blue sharpness, but very little blue sharpness, and the best raw switch axe I can find. Let's upgrade is high damage white sharpness, but it's locked behind fucking Bizarre. Oh my god. That's such a catch-22. Unnatural reaction. What would... There it is. The amount of fear you felt is rather low despite your legs having given out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear?
Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment.
Man, she has a very good memory about that specific point. You did? Where did it come from?
Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me.
Oh, because the flowers, I think it was?
Okay, I lent her sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look! Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now.
There is no noise. It's all quiet.
Bye-bye.
A sudden burst of courage. Now where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage?
Yes, there was, but, I realized I'd done something naughty when I thought about it later.
You took something, I assume?
Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage?
Yeah, it does suck when, like, you need a better weapon to beat a certain monster, but the way to get to that better weapon is by beating the monster. Which I guess at that point proves that you didn't need it in the first place, but still, that, like, yeah. Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like that at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this? It boosts her courage because it was her mother's favorite or something. Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a nine-tails flower there at the scene, did you?
Ah! The demon lawyer strikes again! I can't hide anything from you! I found a small case with a picture of a nine-tails flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it.
You stole from a crime scene.
You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene.
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will provide said evidence this instant.
Sorry.
It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look, your baldness? Ah! This is none other than the master key to QB Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder.
Ah. That's where that went. Which sucks even more because all the other Switch Axes are fucking elemental-based weapons, which the Switch Axe has a fucking reputation for not being very good at element-based stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, elemental stuff I think is mostly better on, like, faster weapons. So yeah, Swax would probably primarily be physical, as you thought. Especially considering how damage thresholds work in Rise. Been a long time, so I've kind of forgotten how that works, but I think I vaguely remember something about that, yeah. A master key that went missing? Why didn't I like the sound of that? Apollo, you know what that means. It means the witness stole a key.
Our little scamp here stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence.
That's a little melodramatic, don't you think?
Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl.
If you inflict a blight too many times, the monster gains a higher resistance threshold. However, this resistance decays as time progresses. Well, yeah, I don't think you can inflict elemental blights with just weapons. I thought it was only with monster attacks, on like when you're wyvern riding. Sometimes you might have to wait a really long time for the damage to be worthwhile. But yeah, I don't think you can inflict blights with weapons. At least I didn't think you could. Anyway, same thing goes for flash bombs, traps, etc. I mean, yeah, that I knew about, the flash bombs and the traps and the things with the, like, monster attacks, but I don't think normal weapons can inflict blights. And your point is?
Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Maya Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable.
No!
One of the decorations is to inflict hell by a blight, if I remember correctly. That's probably a thing with, or like, obviously blast blight, but that's like a status effect, not like an elemental blight.
How could this happen?
The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright? I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do.
This sucks.
Saxtono, allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept.
Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks.
Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, are you alright? Go right into his trap.
Now I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
Alright, I'll be back in 10. No.
Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. I wonder if Abraham Lincoln sent a fax to him.
Apollo?
Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to?
Huh? Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else.
Oh, I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice. Oh, as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect if this is it.
I was wrong. Weapons can inflict status effects like poison. My apologies. That's what I thought. Okay.
Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case?
Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Apollo, you do have something more than your cords of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. But I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. Just do what Phoenix does. Just bluff until you win. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Oh, let me look at the evidence ahead of time just so I got an idea. Okay. How he could have escaped from the locked room. There's the window, which apparently could not have actually done much. And based on Jinxie's testimony, we know he was in the hallway. Flew towards the foyer. Governed one of Alderman QB's pockets. Superstitions. I think... Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is, too.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument?
Well, I'm surprised no one has tried bribing the judge yet. I like seduction or blackmail is outright paying him off. I like to imagine he would have at least slightly more, conviction enough to not take that, but like, you know, that it's odd that no one has tried that. You are correct. You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped through the locked room one way or another.
Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Time to do or die, literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I'm fine. We just need to think this whole thing escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out. Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. Don't discount the logic of Ace Attorney. The man cares more about his beard than anything else. That's fair, yeah. They bribe him with some, like, quality beard shampoo. He'd probably fold like a cracker. Or no, wait, like a card. Or wait. Fold like an envelope? I was thinking, like, crumble like a cracker, but the phrase is, like, crumble like a cookie, but inside the cookie crumbles. Man, I really fucked that one up. What even are metaphors? Or, wait, that would be a simile. Anyway. Good God, this is the disaster. We need to rule out all the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Like an omelet, that's what you're going for. That's the one, yeah, fold like an omelet, that's it. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. I think it's the air duct.
The hallway door? Oh yes, I suppose that would be the only way out.
It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on the scene was within that locked room.
How would one exit the fox chamber and then lock it without a key? I've seen this coming.
Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. You'll exit the room with the key, but...
Oh, find Japanese steel to kill you or something. I missed the line.
I'm fine, I can explain myself. The reason the fox chamber's hallway door was locked... Wait, did I... That was stick drift that made me select the door, but is this an actual answer? Alright, I don't have any evidence that it can lock on its own. The perp could have locked it from the outside. Or Tenma locked it from the inside. Almost help you? This once, it seems to have. This? What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, go look. Ow!
Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. Only we could explain both. Like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside.
Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackquill draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked tight?
Actually, wait, would this be possible? 'Cause when you think about it, the window was open when we got in there. If the window was open and they threw the mask out, what if they threw the key back up through the window? What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, then toss the key back through the window? That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. Griff was trying to help after the saving incident.
And where would you throw it from? There was a cliff outside the fox chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility.
Forgot about that part. Ow! I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window? Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? No. No stick drift. Air duct!
The air vent?
Yes! The window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not. Oh, that's right! The fox chamber's air duct. Leads out into the hallway. That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the fox chamber, then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. Oh, fuck, that worked. Alright. Yeah, I guess I was trying to help after the saving incident. It was like, shit, bro, my bad.
That's preposterous!
Ooh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused.
Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenma Taro, murdered the alderman in the fox chamber. Then, they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. I don't know, Apollo. It's not in manga format. I can't understand it. Have you tried drawing it out like a comic book? Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do after that was go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer?
Amazing! Even I could follow that!
The judge seems really pleased. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenmataro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, looks like that lawyer has beaten the jailbird prosecutor. Well, that was a total turnabout. The massive forehead of his seems to be so much more attractive now. Order! Order! Order, I say! Now that I've proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty. Hey, it's still possible, just not likely. Or not necessarily.
A valiant effort, Justice Dono, but your final thrust missed its mark.
Huh?
Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz out the front door?
Every single person in this courtroom has the mental capacity of a child. They're all pretty out there, yeah. This universe just doesn't really have, like normal people in it. Unless they're there to make fun of the crazy people. That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the... Ouch!
But that is impossible. Without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky yokai trying to escape.
Dude, I know you got the whole samurai shtick going, but you can just say camera. You can just say security camera. It's right there.
However, there was no sign of Tenmataro anywhere in the security footage.
I can only imagine what other fields of work must be. Hell, imagine the annotation system with this mindset. Yeah, just like, have someone named, like, Teacher, or like, I don't know. Or like, Professor or something. Just something like, they definitely have like some kind of weird name.
Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there?
What if I just pronounced every word like that, like manor, but the way I pronounce foyer, the manye, the maye.
Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the maye, is there?
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Wait! I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right!
Silence.
Oh boy. Imagine your dog starts acting like fucking Black Quill. Yeah, they just bring a falcon in and they're like,
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but there's a bone sticking out of your brain.
Also, your heart's in the wrong spot. Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot.
That is the cliffside of the manor. But what if Tenmataro can fly? But she can! I think. He managed to make an English sound disgusting and more so than usual. I have a talent for such things.
The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one.
No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right?
Huh. I suppose your next proposal is that the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset?
Actually, exactly. Your Honor, I'd like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. That would mean the killer really was a yokai. If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer.
Athena. Darling. We got him.
Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Whoa, I thought I was the one with the cords of steel.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Your Honor?
What evidence do you have that the killer flew away?
This one. Take a look at this special edition paper. Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy?
Oh, Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Man, I miss Lotta Hart. She would have had like a whole thing with this. Imagine going under the knife for a simple appendix removal, then some motherfucker like the flower girl from the first trial tells you that your eye is now in your leg and your heart is now inside your brain. Oh, man. Hey, it's gonna get the blood to my brain faster. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fly out the window?
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting...
Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer, disguised as Tenmataro, flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is your brain that has flown the coop. There's a bone where it should be. That image is not but trick photography or some other form of artifice.
Okay, then how about the Tenmataro figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air?
No, there is a rational common sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai, our tricksy Tanuki witness, never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye.
She? I don't like where this is going one bit.
Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at that time.
Gulp. Not good at all.
Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants. And the appearance of Tenmataro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma!
Ah, no! Apollo, don't have the breakdown. That's his job.
Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever!
The judge has seen so much worse than that. Imagine you getting an entire circus show because that's how they tell you have ovarian cancer or something. That would be a crazy night. You go to a circus and there's like a huge trapeze show, and as the trapeze swing, they swing over to your seat, and they hand you a note. They're like, and you're like, oh wow, what does this say? You open it up, it says like, yeah, you tested positive for ovarian cancer, and you're just like, but I'm a man.
Little Scamp was, no doubt, simply trying to protect her father. But it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out of the window. Do you truly believe this could end any other way?
I mean, kinda. Did we fall right into his trap? Well, what do we do now, Apollo?
Our case no longer stands without a real yokai.
If only we had one.
Bailiff, Caesar, this time I interrogated her as the samurai of your wood.
Uh-oh. You're not, because you apparently had male ovaries. It's a sign of capable of being boy freckers. Christ. Mayor Tenma?
This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenma Taro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor, it would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming around the manor would be all but impossible. I was actually expecting you to read that part. Hello. You know, impreg isn't like a terrible thing to say. I just can't say certain other things. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. I'm not obstructed at all. Shut up. But if you confess, the prosecution will be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess? No, he doesn't. He does not. Wait!
Apollo, Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone.
The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away.
Caw. Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return.
Uh-oh, I should watch what I wish for.
Caw, foolish mortals. I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek.
Hey, Tenma?
Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King!
Wait, what the? Demon King?
Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation.
You need to know, like... Yeah.
The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? Ha! What nonsense!
So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now?
Caw. His body is now mine. So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you? The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form.
Your baldness... Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt?
Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented.
The same stunt doesn't work in a live-action scenario. That would be awkward. It would be weird. I'm pretty stun-locked too. I don't really know what to say about this. Other than that, it's a weird idea.
Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned.
Huh? What?
You claim the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party. The true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber. But it was the accused all along. Ah!
Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. Can yokai legally take an oath? Are they legally allowed to make legally binding statements? I guess if they're in court counted as a human, but not otherwise. Because when you think about it, I mean, there's a lot of questions about that. If we came across like another intelligent species, what would happen?
Well, the Alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma. Or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place.
How so, Prosecutor Blackwell? Someone just give me a damn rulebook to the laws of mythical species, because if a fucking ghost possession counts, then yokai possession should count too, right? I think it would be the same, you are correct. But not everyone will agree, because they'll think like, oh, yokai are different than ghosts and whatnot, which they are. But you know.
Seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the Alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow that the Alderman had received to the head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled over the scene of the crime.
I've been reading way too much conflicting media and ghost laws. We need to establish some ghost laws now, because in case ghosts ever turn out to be real, we need to determine like what stuff counts for things and whatnot, you know?
Little Scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenma Taro then fled from the Fox Chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma Taro.
But when we arrived on the scene, the mayor's body was found unconscious. How is that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window?
Then what? You mean to say that the maid of QB Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma Taro?
Oh, that too was easily explained. I forgot.
Considering we're still debating whether or not calling foreigners aliens is racist or not, I don't think we're ready for extraterrestrials. Yeah, I think that'd be a whole problem. You know someone would try to kill them immediately, right? It's like a whole thing.
Flew about for a time, I did, but presently tired, I made for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the Fox Chamber, and I knew no more.
It would seem the pieces are still in place.
Is Blackquill up to his tricks again?
I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live...
Is the rumor about Mayor Tenma's true? I knew yokai were real.
You mean he really did kill the Alderman just so we could release Tenma Taro? Order! Order! Order!
Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai.
The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, Your Baldness.
I have a problem with you calling me that. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma's just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature.
Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to...
Silence!
Yeah, exactly. He makes a point. We need to question whether or not there is a legal precedent for prosecuting things that are not human. But in the same way that in some parts of the US,
This is the dark age of law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning. Justice Donner.
Objection!
I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence.
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation.
How about I just promise not to succumb to anything?
We have both evidence and a confession. The killer was this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but...
What's wrong with him?
Prosecutor Blackquill, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that. What in the devil was that? Fool Bright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? Ha ha ha! It seems you found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackquill. Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackquill will remain on his best behavior.
A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective?
Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned.
How's any of this legal? What's the point of the bailiff in this game? The point of the bailiff is to stand there and look threatening, kinda, in the background, while other stuff happens around him.
Sure.
Right. This one. I mean, yeah, I can keep going for a bit. April 18th, 1:20 p.m. Write Anything Agency. Having a yokai testify in court is unprecedented to say the least. I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek. How could such a straight-laced man like Mr. Tenma suddenly become a demon? Yeah, it's strange. Even worse, Prosecutor Blackquill is playing along. I can't even think straight anymore. I need to go out for a run. See you in a bit. Wait, what about the investigation? Hey, Trucy. Back, eek. Whoa, Trucy. Welcome back. Oh, you're in your stage outfit. Back from work? She always wears this. Yep, I really nailed this new magic trick I've been working on. I also heard about those tricks that were conjured up in court earlier today. You know, the demon out of nowhere trick and Polly's tightrope style defense trick? I was seriously considering a disappearing act of my own after all that craziness. What were we thinking in the first place? A lot of these issues could be easily solved. Apologist had 0 patience and a gun with some alcohol in his system. Yeah, what's new about it? Yeah, nothing's new about it. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely the same outfit she's been wearing. Anyway, our next trick is to find a suspect other than the mayor. I know where the killer must have used the air duct in their escape. And whoever did that was the Tenma Taro that Mr. Filch and Jinxie saw. Right. Here there's some evidence in the air duct. The real fight starts right now. Hey, before you go, let me make the evidence you no longer need disappear. Right, I forgot about the hippopotamus. Unnecessary evidence has disappeared into Trucy's magic hippopotamus. Don't get me wrong, that's kind of helpful, but I did kind of like it in the older games where you just have like a mountain of evidence by the end and you don't really know what's what. Because now I know that I'm going to have to use all the rest of that, you know? I wonder where all that stuff goes. Why there, it's a magic trick, I don't know. Why does a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat? It's these questions and more that will baffle and befuddle the audience. Okay, let's get over to the scene of the crime. Vamonos, Apollo, vamonos! Se llamo Dora! I think. April 18th, QB Manor, Fox Chamber. Detective Fulbright, mind if we search the air duct?
Well, since you really are on the side of justice, I suppose I can let you. Plus, my own sense of justice has been called into doubt, so...
Wonder if he's been like this ever since the trial. Well, his sense of justice has been beaten to a pulp. It'll probably take a while for him to recover. I sort of feel bad for him, but we have work to do. Let's go get the evidence we need. The air duct is the key. We know that the 10 Motaro impersonator used it to make an escape. After murdering the alderman, the killer left the Fox Chamber through the hallway door. I slammed the alderman in the car door. Then, after locking the door from the outside, the killer entered the air duct in the hallway. Finally, the killer dropped the key into the Fox Chamber through the air vent here. Then went back through the duct and fled the manor. That's how the illusion of no one entering or leaving the locked room was created. If the killer passed through the air duct, maybe we'll find some evidence there. Yeah, maybe some black feathers or something like that. Well, here's our vent. It's awfully high up. Don't worry, I brought a stepladder. Or is it just a ladder? Happy hunting. How nice of her to volunteer me for the job. Oh, they didn't even make the joke about it being a ladder or a stepladder. Whoa, it's pitch black in here. Or as that one Evangelion Abridged series said, like, it's pitch black African American in here. Anyway, well, here goes nothing.
Cough, cough, wheeze, sputter, cough. There's a thick layer of dust in here.
I don't get it. Find anything? Yikes! Apollo, what happened? You're covered in dust.
Yeah, dust. Lots of dust.
So, what'd you find?
You know, dust collecting something when no one uses it for a long time?
What a sputter sound sounds like? I don't. Or it's more like something like that. Or like yeah, like Mr. White's desk back at the office. Right. You think it's possible to crawl over to that sort of dust without leaving a trail? I seriously doubt it. Wait, you're not suggesting no one's gone through that duct lately? And it looks that way. And if it's true, Mayor 10 was gonna be fingered as the killer. I'd rather they not finger him at all, unless he wants to. Did it when reading 2 lines ago. I will have to look back at that then. But if we don't turn things around quickly,
In justice we trust.
Action!
Sorry, Mr. Justice. But it seems your justice was not the most just after all. It is my sense of justice that has prevailed.
Ah!
Detective Fulbright sure seems chipper all of a sudden. And I'm back to my old devastated self.
Oh, come on, where's that never say die spirit? Bring it on, Mr. Lawyer Man, bring it on.
Let me suffer in peace.
Ha ha ha! Justice prevails once more.
But what truth is justice? Truly is justice if everyone has a conflicting sense of it. Good question. We should ask him to define what justice means. In his own words and also the dictionary, apparently. It's not over yet, and besides, kicking someone when they're down is what bad guys do.
Fuck! Are you calling me a bad guy?
And the entirety of Bad Guy just plays in the silhouette of himself.
Me? Bobby Fulbright, champion of justice?
Then how about some information on the investigation? We need some help here.
Information about the investigation? Alright, but I won't have you calling me a bad guy ever again. Understood?
We did it, Apollo. Yeah, but how long can we keep this up? So we can't examine anything in here. I can't believe Prosecutor Blackwell would stoop that low. I mean, to pinning the blame on a yokai? He really wants a conviction at all costs. She could give a yokai a run for its money when she's mad.
Yes, well, I have him writing a self-reflective essay as we speak.
Oh Christ, having to write one of those in prison? I hated having to write those back when I was in school. That sucked. I doubt that'll teach him anything. Yeah, he'll probably just write Dodard 1,000 times. Or Doddard? I don't know how to pronounce that.
That whole yokai business is most likely a ploy to win a conviction. Truth is, Prosecutor Blackwell believes Jinxie Tenma planted that yokai stuff. Planted it in an effort to protect her father, the real killer.
Yeah, right. I'd like to see him prove it.
Whoa, calm down. He doesn't have any direct evidence, but we did find this. It was at the base of the cliff just outside Kyubi Manor.
Wait, that isn't the staff Tenmataro was supposedly carrying, is it? And we know that he was carrying it in the hallway when Jinxie saw him, so that means he had it before and then threw it over the cliff at some point.
The one and only. Miss Tenma no doubt tossed it over the cliff when she was alone.
No way! Well, what about Prince? Being thrown over a cliff and potentially in the water could be, yep, gloves.
Nope, no Prince. But if she was wearing a costume, there wouldn't be any anyway.
Well, Prince or no Prince, it's not going to work in our favor. Sounds like the staff might have belonged to the mansion. If that's the case... And where in the mansion did Tenmataro get it from? Maybe it's in the chamber. Did Prosecutor Blackwell figure out that the victim was the amazing Ninetales?
He did indeed. He's a sharp one, all right. He figured it out while investigating the municipal merger in the victim's past. The amazing Ninetales sparked the yokai craze and worked against the merger. And Mayor Damien Tenma is the corrupt politician who murdered that great hero.
The Amazing Ninetales fans are so angry they even tried to storm the detention center.
I don't blame them. I mean, their favorite masked wrestling hero was just murdered. I'm gonna say deceased, but anyway. They must have been shocked when they found out what happened. Speaking of which, isn't Jinxie also a fan of the Amazing Ninetales? A wrestler's mask is more precious than his own life. He'd never unmask himself in front of others. But there are matches where wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's mask. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That is why their masks are more important to them than life itself. She spoke with a passion that only a fan could appreciate. We gotta become fans ourselves and go protest in front of the prison. What? No! Did you forget that the Mayor Tenma is not only Jinxie's father, but our client? Oh yeah.
You be careful now, you're defending the most hated mayor in history.
I'm sure there was at least one that was more hated.
I just hope you don't find yourself on the wrong end of a figurative four-leg lock.
Maybe I should wear a mask to hide my identity. Are there any other new developments we should know?
Now that you mention it. A suspect is suffering partial memory loss, but he did manage to remember something.
He did? What did he say?
He said he didn't want to speak with us. His exact words were, "I am under no obligation to speak with you mortals." And other things of that nature.
Wonder what Mayor Tenma remembered.
Too bad you can't ask him now, because Prosecutor Blackwell's busy questioning him. I know! Why don't you wait down at the playground with the rest of the kids? I mean, there has been one corrupt dictator in the history, this entire history of this backwater town. I mean, hey, maybe they avoided that for several hundred years. Who knows?
What now, Apollo? How about regrouping back at the agency? Good idea. Might get some words of wisdom out of Mr. Wright while we're there. Alright, I hate to close this off early, but I'm starting to lose my mental faculties a little bit. I did not get as much sleep as I thought I did. I need to go power down for a bit. Maybe my charge is broken. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airhead, your favorite VTuber Android. My next stream will be sometime this week. Keep an eye out for my schedule tomorrow. Have a lovely morning, day, or evening. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. And goodbye for now. Sorry to cut this short. See you next time.